Do bad reviews destroy companies? That is the topic of today's discussion. If you keep up with the world of product reviews, you definitely know the name of Marques Brownlee. And if you keep up with his content whatsoever, you may have seen the video that he posted out recently talking about this very subject. I will link his original video down in the description, but basically what he was talking about is whether or not bad reviews by people like himself, when they are released, destroy companies or ruin their reputation or crash their stock market values. So if you want to hear it straight from the source, go watch his video, but today I'm going to give you my 2 cents. So today I've got 2 sides that I want to discuss. 1, the responsibility of the company, and 2, is there a responsibility for creators? First, let's talk about companies. On my musician accounts, in the past, I have had a lot of companies reach out to me to send free products for reviews. And I definitely indeed made a lot of reviews back a couple years ago for a bunch of different products relating to microphones and audio gear because my channel is based around music. My other channel, not this one. And so I've done my fair share of product reviews. And definitely with this channel, I intend to actually release product reviews of film and cinema related gear. But when it comes to companies making products, you have to actually make a good product. That's your responsibility, that's probably your dream and your goal, but that is what you owe to the consumer. A good product. You don't want to be a company that's known for making a really shitty product that people don't like or feel cheated out of when they buy it. And there are a lot of companies out there that make cheap pieces of crap products that really don't care whether or not people like them or not because they have like a no return policy, no refund policy, and once you buy from them they get their money, and if it's a crap product and it dies on you or something or breaks, they really could care less. But then there are other companies who actually want to succeed, want to put out a good product, and want to have a good name for themselves about the product that they provide to the consumers. So in relation to Marques Brownlee and what he was talking about, it seems that a lot of people try to blame him for causing some of the companies that he's reviewed badly to tank. And I understand where they're coming from because Marques Brownlee is a big name. He has a lot of influence with his followers, and that's honestly a lot of influence. Another name you could call him is an influencer. So he does hold a lot of weight with the words that he says. And that kind of power can actually be wielded wrongly or correctly. And in my opinion, I think Marques uses his power and influence in a very positive way. So when he puts out a review that names a product as bad, I believe it. He knows what he's talking about. He's been doing it forever. So if he says it's bad, then it's probably bad. And I think a lot of these companies or people that are complaining about this just maybe don't understand the concept of a bad product. Every company who makes any kind of product thinks that their product is probably the best. They can't fathom a universe in which their product is really just not good. So when they see a review from someone like Marques that's calling their product terrible, they're gonna feel offended and say, hey, what the hell? Our product is amazing. You don't know what you're talking about. And then when their stock values crash and people don't want to buy their products anymore, they have a scapegoat to blame for the fact that their product just isn't any good. And that responsibility does not fall on those who are making reviews like Marques Brownlee. That falls onto the companies that are making these really shitty products. If you didn't make a shitty product and people go to review it, it wouldn't get a shitty review. That is not the fault of these reviewers because your product is not good. That's your fault for making a terrible product. People like Marques Brownlee are just doing what they do best and doing their job. That is what they do all the time. They're not like putting out a target on your back. They're not trying to like somehow manipulate you in some way because they don't like you. They're just doing their job. And it sucks that your product is really bad, but that's not their fault. They just spread the information to everybody else to stop them from buying your crappy product. So when it comes down to who's to blame for maybe the downfall of a company or a company's product because of a bad review from someone like Marques Brownlee, that responsibility falls on the company who made the product. Now, on the other hand, I do understand where some people are coming from when they say that, oh, somebody who puts out a bad review, like Marques Brownlee, maybe cause these companies to fall short. Like I said earlier, people like Marques have a large following and a lot of influence, so people really listen to what he has to say, and if he says something's bad, like myself, I'm gonna believe him and think that the product is bad. So in this scenario, which is definitely not true whatsoever, but in a fake universe where Marques Brownlee is an evil person, if he decided to, I don't like this company specifically or this product, I'm gonna purposefully put out a bad review to tank their stock prices and make the company fall and crumble to pieces. He could definitely do that. If he put out a dishonest review of a good product and called it a bad product, it probably would cause some kind of issue for the product in the first place. Would it cause it to tank and absolutely crash? Probably not, because there's going to be a lot of other people who believe it's a good product that will help keep it afloat. But that's not to say he doesn't have a good amount of influence on what people are going to think about it initially before they actually try it out themselves. But contrary to that a little bit, and Mark has talked about it in his video specifically, not everybody who watches his videos are right there on the edge ready to click order on the products that he's reviewing. People like myself like to watch his videos because his videos are well shot, they're well put together, his stuff looks amazing, he's very informative, and the way he packages everything is really awesome. So when I see a video of his come out that's about a product that I really don't have an interest in buying, I'll probably still watch it because it's a Marques Brownlee video. So for some of these companies to say, oh well, now you just influenced 10 million people not to buy our product, I don't think that's necessarily true, because out of those 10 million people that might have watched this video, maybe 10,000 of them, maybe on the high end, 100,000, which is very unlikely in my mind, would actually be considering buying that product in that moment when they're watching that video. The other 95% of the people that have seen it are just watching the video to watch the video. So the perceived amount of influence on whether or not people are going to buy your product kind of dwindles down really low, doesn't it? But I do think that's where the responsibility falls for creators like Marques Brownlee who make reviews and have a large amount of influence. You have to be able to control and understand your influence and use it in the right way. You know, with great power comes great responsibility, right? That whole shtick. It's actually real. I think people like Marques do have a duty to be honest in their reviews and not lie or bullshit people, because they do have a certain amount of influence and can actually affect some of these companies. But ultimately, I think it's very rare that anybody that gets to the level of Marques Brownlee is a dishonest person. So realistically, it's just not something that is believable. He makes good content, honest content, and people listen to him and trust him because he does that. So again, if a bad product is deemed bad by Marques Brownlee, it's most likely a bad product. It's unfortunate for those companies, but hey, they can use that as a learning experience if they don't completely tank, and improve from there as something like constructive criticism. That's what a good company would do if something like that happened to them. If they put out a product that got a bad review by someone like Marques Brownlee, and they took that as constructive criticism and improved upon the issues that they had and put out a better product, that's a really great company, and that's a sign of a company that's trying to strive to give you a good product. If a company immediately turns at a bad product review of one of their products and says, oh, this is BS, this is their fault why our product isn't doing very well because of their bad review, and they don't do anything about it because they think that their shit don't stink and that their product is the best product ever, that's probably a sign of a, well, not a great company. I think the whole thing is kind of comical in a way, because these big bad companies are complaining and throwing a fit because their products are just terrible and people are finding out, but it's bound to happen this day and age. Everything's on social media. You can't pull a wool over someone's eyes very easily anymore. So if you have a bad product and you're trying to really get it out there and it's just a bad product, people are going to tell other people that it's a bad product on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all over the place. And you just can't afford to make bad stuff anymore. But that's my 2 cents, so let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Before you go, make sure you hit subscribe and watch some of the other videos on your screen, and I'll see you in the next video.